Okay, so picture this. It is 2 a.m. on a Wednesday. You are deep asleep. Your phone is charging on your nightstand. Your dreams are doing whatever dreams do. You are completely checked out from the world, not thinking about money, not doing any work, not making any decisions, just sleeping. And while you are sleeping, money is landing in someone's account. Not because they are working, not because they set an alarm, not because they did anything at 2 a.m. except exist. Just because a while ago, they made some smart decisions about where to put their money, and now their money is doing the work for them. That is not a fantasy. That is not a get-rich-quick scheme. That is just what happens when you understand something that most people were genuinely never taught: how to make money work instead of just sit. And today, that is exactly what we are going to talk about. Not in complicated financial language, not in terms that require a finance degree. Just you, me, and a really honest conversation about how money actually grows and how you can start putting yours to work no matter where you are starting from. First, let's talk about the problem with just saving. Most people grow up being told one thing about money: save it, put it in the bank, do not spend it all. And that is not bad advice. Saving is important. But here's what nobody told you about saving. Just saving is not enough. Imagine you have a jar of water sitting on your kitchen counter. You are not drinking it, you are not using it, you are just saving it. But every single day, a tiny amount of that water evaporates. Not enough for you to notice day by day, but over a year, over 5 years, that jar has less water in it than it started with, even though you never touched it. That is exactly what happens to money sitting in a regular bank account. The water evaporation is called inflation. Every year, prices go up. Your groceries cost more, your rent cost more, your phone bill cost more. But your savings account balance stays exactly the same number. So even though the number has not changed, what that number can actually buy has gone down. Your money has less power than it had before, just from sitting there. So saving is step one. But step two, the step most people never take, is making that saved money work, putting it somewhere it grows instead of somewhere it just sits and slowly loses power.
So what does it actually mean for money to work? Think about it like this. Let's say you have a friend who is really good at making things. You give them $100 and say, use this to make something, and then split whatever you earn with me. Your friend goes off, works hard, makes something worth $108. They give you back your $100 plus $8 as your share of the profit. You did nothing. You just provided the $100, and now you have $108. That is essentially what investing is. You are giving your money to something, a company, a fund, a property, a system, and saying, go and make more of yourself, and then bring some back to me. And while it is out doing that work, you are sleeping, or watching TV, or at your actual job. The money is working a second job that you never have to show up for. The question is, what are the actual practical ways to make this happen for a normal person with a normal income? Let's go through them one by one. Way number one, stop letting your savings sit in the wrong place. This is the easiest win, and the one most people are missing right now. There are two types of savings accounts: a regular savings account and a high-yield savings account. Most people have the first one. Most people should have the second one. Here is the difference. A regular savings account at a big bank pays you about 0.01% interest annually. On $5,000, that is 50 cents a year. Literally 50 cents. Your money is sitting there earning you the price of a small candy. A high-yield savings account, usually offered by online banks, pays significantly more. We are talking 4 to 5% in many cases. On that same $5,000, that is $200 to $250 a year for doing absolutely nothing differently except choosing a different jar to put the same water in. You do not need to do anything complicated. You just open a high-yield savings account, takes about 10 minutes online, move your savings there, and let it sit. The account pays you just for having money in it. That is your money working its very first job.
Way number two, compound interest, the thing that separates people who build wealth from people who do not. I need to explain this one carefully because it is the most important concept in this entire video and possibly in all of personal finance. Let me use a snowball. You are standing at the top of a snowy hill. You take a small handful of snow and pack it into a ball. You roll it down the hill. As it rolls, it picks up more snow. It gets bigger. As it gets bigger, it picks up even more snow with each rotation because it has more surface area now. By the time it reaches the bottom of the hill, that small handful of snow has become something much, much larger. Not because you added more snow, because the rolling itself created growth. That is compound interest. Let me show you with numbers.
You put $1,000 into an investment that earns 8% a year. After year 1, you have $1,080. Now in year 2, you earn 8% on $1,080, not on the original $1,000. So you earn $86 instead of $80. Now you have $1,166. In year 3, you earn 8% on $1,166, and so on. The interest earns interest. The snowball keeps picking up snow. And here is where it gets genuinely mind-blowing. That $1,000 left untouched for 30 years at 8% does not become $3,000 or $4,000. It becomes approximately $10,000, 10 times the original amount, without you adding a single dollar, just from the snowball rolling. Now imagine instead of $1,000, you put in $200 every single month. $200 a month is $6.67 a day. It is roughly the price of a coffee and a snack. Over 30 years at 8%, that $200 a month becomes approximately $295,000 from $6.67 a day, from skipping one small purchase daily and investing it instead. That is compound interest. That is your money working for you. That is someone's account receiving money at 2 a.m. while they sleep.
Way number 3, index funds, the investment that works even when you know nothing about investing. Okay, so I know what some of you are thinking. Investing sounds complicated and risky and like something that requires knowing what you are doing. And some forms of investing are complicated, but there is one form that is specifically designed to be simple, low cost, and effective for regular people. It is called an index fund. Here is an analogy. Imagine there is a massive pizza restaurant competition happening in your city. 50 of the best pizza places are competing. You want to bet on which one is going to win, but you have no idea. All of them look good. You do not know enough to pick just one. So instead of picking one restaurant, you decide to buy a tiny piece of all 50 of them. Now it doesn't matter which one wins. You have a piece of every winner. And the overall pizza industry in your city is almost certainly going to grow over time, which means your collection of tiny pieces grows too. That is an index fund. Instead of picking individual companies, which requires research and expertise and luck, you buy a tiny piece of all of them at once. Specifically, a fund that tracks something like the S&P 500, which is the 500 largest companies in America. Apple, Amazon, Google, Nike, Coca-Cola, you own a tiny sliver of all of them. Historically, the S&P 500 has grown at roughly 10% per year on average over the long term. Some years up, some years down, but the long-term trend has always been upward. And the best part? You do not need to monitor it daily. You do not need to make active decisions. You buy in, you keep contributing, and you let time and the market do what they have historically always done. Warren Buffett, one of the richest investors in the world, has said publicly that for most everyday people, a simple, low-cost index fund is the best investment they can make. Not because it is exciting, because it works. Way number 4, dividend stocks. Literally getting paid just for owning something. This one is my personal favorite way to explain passive income because it is the most literal version of money arriving while you do nothing. A dividend is money that a company pays to people who owns its stock, its shares. Some of the biggest, most established companies in the world do this. Think of companies like Coca-Cola, Johnson & Johnson, McDonald's. These companies are so profitable and so stable that they regularly take a portion of their profits and distribute them to their shareholders, the people who own pieces of the company. So here's what that looks like in real life. You buy shares in a company that pays dividends. Let's say you buy $5,000 worth of shares. The company pays a 3% annual dividend. That means once a year, or broken up quarterly, the company deposits $150 into your investment account. Not because you did anything, not because you worked, just because you own a piece of the company and the company shared its profits with you. Now, $150 doesn't sound life-changing, but that's on $5,000. On $50,000 worth of dividend-paying stocks at 3%, that's $1,500 a year. On $100,000, that's $3,000 a year. And as you reinvest those dividends, buying more shares with the money, the amount of dividends you receive grows. The snowball again. The point is not the amount right now. The point is the mechanism. Money arriving in your account because you own something, and that something pays you for owning it. That is your money working.
Way number 5, your retirement account, the investment you are already supposed to be making. If you work for a company that offers a retirement account with an employer match and you are not contributing at least enough to get the full match, I need you to pause this video and go fix that right now. Here is why. An employer match means your employer is offering to literally give you free money. It works like this. Your employer says for every dollar you put in up to 3% of your salary, we will match it. So you put in $100 and your employer puts in $100. That is an immediate 100% return on your contribution before the investment even does anything. You doubled your money before the market had a chance to do a single thing. There is no investment on earth that gives you an immediate guaranteed 100% return. That employer match is the closest thing to free money that the financial world offers. And millions of people are leaving it on the table because they did not know about it or kept putting it off until next month. Beyond the match, the retirement account has special tax advantages. The money grows in a protected environment, you pay less tax, the compounding is more powerful because less of it is eaten by taxes. It is designed specifically to be the most efficient vehicle for building long-term wealth for regular working people. Start with at least enough to get the full employer match, then increase it over time as your income grows. Way number 6, creating something once that pays you over and over. This one is a little different from the others because it is not a financial product. It's a way of thinking about your skills and your time, but it belongs in this conversation. Think about a musician who writes a song. They write it once, they record it once, and then every time someone streams that song, they get a small payment called a royalty. They did not write the song again, they did not perform it again. The song just keeps paying them because it exists and people keep listening to it. Now, you probably are not a musician, but the same principle applies to many things. A blog post that continues to attract readers and generate advertising income. An online course you build once that keeps enrolling new students. An ebook you write once that keeps selling. A YouTube channel you build once that generates ongoing ad revenue from videos you made months or years ago. These are not passive in the sense of zero work. They require real effort up front. But they are passive in the sense that the income keeps arriving after the initial work is done. You build the asset once, the asset keeps paying you. This is how some people in the creator economy make money while they sleep, not from some mysterious secret, but from having built something that has an ongoing life of its own. Now, the thing that makes all of this work and the thing that destroys all of it if you ignore it: time. Everything we talked about today is powered by time. Compound interest needs time. Index funds need time to weather the market's ups and downs and come out ahead. Dividend portfolios need time to grow large enough to generate meaningful income. Retirement accounts need decades to reach their full potential. Here is the number that should make you act today rather than next month. If you invest $5,000 at age 25 and never add another dollar, it grows to approximately $108,000 by age 65 at 8%. If you invest that same $5,000 at age 35 and never add another dollar, it only grows to approximately $50,000 by age 65. Same money, same investment, 10 years of difference, twice the outcome. Every year you wait is not just a year of growth you miss, it is a year of compounding on the growth, on the growth, on the growth that you miss. The loss is not linear, it is exponential, and it compounds in reverse just as powerfully as it compounds forward. The best day to start was yesterday. The second best day is today. Not when you have more money, not when you feel more ready, not next payday. Today. Start small if you have to. Start with $20 a month if that is what is available. But start. Put something somewhere it can move. Give your money its first job. And then sleep. Because if you do it right, your money will be working the night shift. So here is everything we covered today. The 6 ways to make your money work for you while you sleep. 1. Move your savings to a high-yield account where it actually earns meaningful interest. 2. Understand compound interest and let time do the heavy lifting. 3. Invest in index funds, where the market works for you without requiring your expertise. 4. Buy dividend stocks and get paid simply for owning them. 5. Use your retirement account and never leave an employer match on the table. 6. Build a digital asset or creative work that generates income after the initial creation. None of these require you to be wealthy. None of them require you to be an expert. All of them require one thing: the decision to start. Because the difference between people whose money works for them and people whose money just sits is not intelligence. It is not income. It is one decision made consistently over time. Make the decision. I'm Zara, and we're just getting started.